Hi there, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in again, or if it's the first time you've come across the channel, then thanks for checking it out. So, just have to say, in the last week or so, we've picked up quite a number of subscribers, well, quite a number for myself, as we try and reach that milestone of 100 subscribers, which I know seems like small fry compared to the big channels out there, but for someone like myself, just making these videos, trying to, create a bit of entertainment, a little bit of fun on Gran Turismo Sport, whilst trying to compete with some of the top guys, it's, I'm happy with that. Like I said, if we get to 100 subscribers, my wife thinks, well, I might be able to convince my wife to let me buy a laptop which will help me stream in much better quality. So help a brother out if you can by hitting that subscribe button. Anyway, enough of the sales pitch. This was Race C, Daily Race C this week, which is still currently ongoing. It's Group 2, it's at Fuji, and it's a tough race. I qualified in quite a decent time, so I got quite a good grid start, but this was first lap, first race, and this was something up what happened to me in about my first 3 or 4 races this week on this track. The agony here as the car won't reset, spinning around, and then finally gets the reset, but we're well back now in 20th place, having started well up the grid, so it's kind of damage limitation already. But the reason obviously this race became a bit more interesting was as we progress, we get involved in a little bit of a scrap, which I felt was, well, you can make your own mind up with some of the moves that are produced by our Italian friend, who's currently, you can see, in P17 there. So yeah, it's a tough race, but if we skip forward, we can see that not a lot happened. We plod round, pick up the odd penalty, try and get used to the track, but we get a couple of quits, rage quits, and eventually we find ourselves, starting to catch up with the guys in front. There's a pack ahead, and I was just really kind of focusing on trying to catch up with them to make this some sort of race for myself. So here we are, we head into the start of lap 9. This is kind of really where the action begins to take shape. You can see our Italian friend giving the guy in front a little bit of a nudge wide there, and he takes advantage of the situation and off he goes. So we are now following him. We think we've got the pace to catch, maybe the guy who's currently in P12, and firstly we need to dispose of Pappardella. So we've clearly got the pace, we've caught up with him pretty quickly, and we're on his tail and trying to force mistakes. So it's a high downforce circuit this, so you can really rev the car out. You've got to be mindful of your fuel a little bit, but not too much. We have a braking point there. Tough section here to get right, sector 3, very easy, put the boot down and just lose the rear, but we managed to negotiate this okay. Not really an opportunity for a move here, but we're going to look to see if we can get something done coming round the last couple of corners, as he goes a little bit wide, but we try to take a narrower line and get the power down nice and early, keep on his tail so we've got a good run down the straight, and a little bit of a narrower entrance into the corner, so he gets a little bit of a better exit. But off we go down the straight, fueled by quite a powerful slipstream, so we're confident now that we can get past by turn 1, and he's not going to fight it, so I'm thinking to myself, that's good, we can dispose of him, set our targets in that group of 3 cars in front as we hit the braking point, down into first gear, keeping it on the curb, up into second, and accelerate out. Pappardella is closely behind, and we've got the guy going off in front of us, and he comes across and blocks me there, which was a disappointing move. I have to take evasive action, and it's lets Pappardella just send one right up the middle. If we actually look at that from Pappardella's point of view, we can see kind of what happens. You can see the guy ahead spinning off the track, and we are thinking, right, we're going to take that place, I'm going to go up the inside, I've got the pace, but he just drives right across my line. I have to then go back out onto the racing line. Pappardella, fair enough to him, he just sends it up the inside and takes the 2 of us. So that was very disappointing from my point of view. We managed to get past the Swede though, who then tries to send it up the inside, gives us a little tap, but you know, we managed to keep control of it. So we have a gap now again between ourselves and the Italian as we head down into sector 3 again. You can see somebody going off up ahead there, people starting to struggle on their tyres by this point, but we managed to keep it tight through there, tidy. We've got Batman now to overcome, so it's going to be difficult, especially if he deploys one of the array of weapons the Batmobile usually has in its arsenal. But we're going to try and get a move done up the inside here as he goes wide, and we can get that move done nicely, hitting the apex, and off we go down the straight again, fueled again, still just in the slipstream, and that is going to be crucial as we head down into turn 1. We know we're catching him, we know we've got the pace to at least get P12 out of this with 2 laps to go. So skipping forward, we're right back on his tail now. Again though, coming into sector 3, it's a difficult place to try and make a move, but we're going to try and send one up the inside, which we do. We hit our apex nicely, but he comes back at us with quite an aggressive move, but he manages to hold the line. Plenty of door banging going on, so we have to be mindful that he's obviously keen to hold that position, and he's not afraid to get a little bit physical while doing it. He goes pretty wide there again, we get a much better run there. So we're going to try and send one up the inside as he goes wide again, and we managed to get the job done again. Same manoeuvre, up the inside, hit the apex, and now we're rubbing doors and heading off down the straight. So I've got the inside line, and I'm pretty certain that I can make this one stick. We've got the Swede in the slipstream, so I've got to be mindful of that as well. He'll be catching it, so there's 3 of us basically heading down into turn 1. And let's see if we can manage to make the move stick as we brake late, but managed to park it on the apex, second gear, and he has managed to get a little bit of a cutback on us. But again, we've got the inside line here, so we should be absolutely golden for this corner, but no, we get shoved wide, well, we get shoved narrow, and then it cuts across us. Again, that was not, in my opinion, a very it just felt like a little bit of an aggressive move, overly aggressive move. We try and keep him narrow there, but he just turns into us, sends us across the dirt. We've now got dirty tyres, so yeah, it was always going to be hard to then take him on this corner, but we're going to try, and he just pushes us off the track onto the dirt, and it is effectively race over. So looking back at that, it's just really, I was pretty annoyed here, to be honest with you. I mean, I gave him plenty of space. If we have a look back at it, we're coming around there. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's deliberate, but I mean, he was already on the brakes. He certainly just doesn't give us any room at all, and he's not, you know, he's not fussed about making contact. We knew that from earlier in the race, but we then plod on the rest of the lap, finished P17. So yeah, that was race 1 for the week. Very disappointing, P17, and you know, we have to decide, do we persevere with race C, or do we just bin it and give up on the daily races for the week? Well, the answer to that is we plod on. So here we are, this was the next night. I decided I would have another go at this race, see if I could, you know, master it as such. I actually set a really good qualifying time in between, I won 29.4. So I was hopeful of, you know, just performing better. I just wanted to try and finish the race without any major mishaps, as after that race, the first race that we just watched there, I had another couple of terrible races where I was spinning out and just not controlling the car, but I felt like I had a bit more control over it this time. And as we can see in this race, we have a well-known YouTuber, somebody who I am very, very familiar with as I watch his channel avidly. It's Kie25, so he was starting from the back and he was streaming on his channel at the same time. So I actually made a joke about it while I was streaming this race, that I just wanted to finish ahead of Kie. That would be the ultimate goal for myself. So it's a pretty uneventful start. We managed to hold it together for more than one lap, so that's definitely an improvement on the first race that we just watched. But in this race we see Formula 1 fan, he manages to get down outside, but I wasn't actually fighting him because his race pace was quicker than mine, and that was kind of my mantra for this race. If somebody was quicker behind me, then I wasn't going to fight it. And as we can see here, Kefren, the Frenchman, again, he was quicker than me. I didn't fight it, I just let him go. And our race pace wasn't great, so we were getting caught, but you know, we were hoping for a top 5 finish. That would have been a good result, and of course, more importantly, to finish ahead of Kie25. So skipping through into the start of lap 7, what we see here is a dive bomb from our German friend behind us. We can actually see that better in chase cam. So I got a bit of a fright when he came flying up the inside of us, as I was not expecting it, because I felt like I braked pretty late. As you can see, well beyond the brake marker, but he brakes really late, misses the corner, we have to kind of take avoiding action, but he manages to hold place and he takes the spot off. So I wasn't best pleased with that, but anyway, these things happen. So as we skip forward, we have the next German BB83 behind us for company. Again, he manages to get past us, going into sector 3, but I wasn't worried about that either. But now, as you can see from the positions on the left hand side, Kie25 is now behind us. So he is, at this point he was about 4 seconds behind us, but as you can see from his lap times, he's doing, you know, low 131s and things like that, so he was going to catch us at some point. It was just a case of, could I hold him off? So I did a pretty good job actually of putting in a few half decent laps, sort of low 132s, and I thought to myself, well, he's pretty far back, I don't think we'll be caught. I think we'll achieve mission, a top 5, and to finish ahead of Kie25. However, a bit of a sloppy lap number 12 coming up, which brought Kie to within about a second of us going down the straight. So we can watch from Kie's perspective just what happens in this last lap, as we hope to take that all-important P5 and hold off the machine that is Kie25. So down into the left-hander, we drop down to 4th and we swing round over the curb. No problems there at all. He's not really making any serious inroads at this stage. We're quite comfortable. However, if we look here, we just send it a little bit wide here and get on the power, and we get a bit squirrely. Car, you know, scrums around a little bit, and we lose a bit of traction there and spin out the rear tyres. So Kie is now probably within about half a second of us, but I'm thinking to myself, it's pretty hard to overtake in sector 3, so if we keep it tight, hit the apexes, we should be okay. And that's exactly what we don't do. As you can see, we almost lose the rear end there, and round the outside goes Kie25, and it's a heartbreaking moment for me, because I thought, yeah, I could pip him for it, but you know, he's got a lot of pace, and he had a lot of people watching his stream at the time, and I jumped into his chat afterwards just to acknowledge the fact that I did indeed bottle it. But the good news is, I think I picked up about an extra 5 subscribers off the back of that bottle job live in front of his hundreds of viewers. But yeah, it was a bittersweet end to that race. Okay, so after that heartbreaking disappointment from that race previously, where Kie pipped us for P5, we moved on to another race. It was the next evening actually, and again Kie was streaming, and this was my first race. I think it might have been his first race in Daily Race C of the evening as well, but he's starting from the back. He's got Tunablecoyote in front of him, so 2 really quick drivers hoping to basically cut right through the field. I've got Womble Leader behind me, you know, a guy who's really quick. If you watch his YouTube channel and his streams, you will see just how quick and consistent he is. Somebody I really am only kind of aspiring to try and get to that level of speed and consistency. Although we did have a better qualifying lap, you know, that's qualifying's a different kettle of fish to the actual race itself. My race pace wasn't particularly strong. to be honest with you. Off we go into the race. First lap, a bit late on the brakes, but we managed to get it stuck on the apex absolutely fine. Womble leader doesn't make any inroads there. We've got the Spaniard, sorry, accidentally pausing it there. We've got the Spaniard in front of us, and he is going to go a little bit wide there. As you can see, he hits the cone, slows him down a little bit. He gets a little bit untidy going through this corner, sticks a couple of tyres on the grass, that loses a little bit of traction. We get a narrower line, but we managed to make the move, and I just want to watch that again from chase cam, because this was probably the best move I made all week or so far on this race. Sticking it down the inside, absolutely quality from my perspective. But we've got him in close proximity now going into sector 3. He's obviously very keen to try and get that back, and he has a little bit of a corner cut there, and he gets a 1.5 second penalty for his trouble, so that's a bit of a disaster as far as he's concerned. Good news for Womble leader though, because that's going to be a free position for him. So moving on, we know he's got a 1.5 second penalty, and that gives us a bit of breathing space from Womble leader in third place. Also at this point, if we check on Key's progress, he's already up to P14, however he does have a 1 second penalty. It could prove to be crucial to his chances of finishing ahead of me, which I'm sure was definitely his main objective of the race as well. Dumped firmly in cheek for that one. But yeah, as we move on to the next few laps, we don't have any real issues. Womble leader is starting to gain on us because he is a very quick player. You can see from his lap times he's a consistent 131 man. 131s are great laps for me. I'm usually in the low 132s, to be honest with you, but I was driving pretty well. As you can see, I managed a consecutive 131s, 3 in a row. But what you'll see is, just taking it back slightly, is that I just stick the hazards on and I let Womble leader go, because I know he's quicker than me, and I didn't want to hold him up anymore. And he's a very fair driver, so I knew he wasn't going to dive for me or anything like that, but I thought it was just best let him go, try and follow him for a bit, and at least consolidate perhaps a top 3 or 4 finish, because I know that Codex Victor, the Spaniard behind us, is quick. He's going to catch us or continue to close the gap as the race progresses. So as we skip through the race, we will see Codex is now right on our tail, and again he wasn't going to fight it as he went down the straight. Pins his air and gets a nice bit of width into the corner, and we let him get the move done. So we've got now about a 2 second gap to the cars behind, so really I'm just thinking about 4th place, and of course finishing ahead of this guy here in position 14. You can see he's already done a 130, so his pace is good as per usual. So that was all I was really focused on, and the fact that I was maintaining the gap to P5 was encouraging, because well, the more cars I put between myself and the better, as I tried to gain a bit of respectability after my 110% bottle job from the previous night in front of all the viewers on his channel. So we go down into the last lap. All that was going to stop us from finishing ahead of Key was going to be an almighty spin out, and the goal was just to keep the car on the track. But it's easier said than done. It's a very difficult track, it's a high downforce track, but it's very easy to get the rear, let the rears go. And you can see the tyre wear on those left hand tyres and the back tyres especially. Fuel's obviously a little bit of an issue here, so you've got to be mindful of that, but so far so good. We hang around there, drop it down to second. Difficult corner, you don't want to get in the power too hard there, because you can easily lose the back end, as we've seen in that previous race against Key. But we managed to keep it nice and tidy, still pushing relatively hard, take this corner nice, but we don't, as I said, want to get on the power too hard. So second gear, just quickly shift up to third to get the traction back, nicely hit the apex there. And by this point we're thinking nothing can surely go wrong, as we drop it down to second, then to first, back up to second, let the car rotate round. drive over a cone for the sake of it, and down to first, shift to second. Can we hold it through the last corner? And we can. Surely nothing can go wrong from here. And we're going to save face in this stunning Rothmans livery. But yeah, a P4 was a great result. P3 had been my best finish before that, but I picked up about 1,000 DR for that because it was a pretty stacked lobby. Tunablecoyote coming over the line in 8, and Kie coming over the line in 9. See Kie's lap times are pretty quick. So yeah, we were happy with that. I jumped into his chat afterwards just to let him know that I was capable of not bottling, and he had a little bit of a laugh and congratulated me on keeping the car on the track in a straight line for the entire race, which was good for me. So once again, thanks for tuning in to the channel. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm hoping to make more, as I said. If you've not subscribed, then it would be magic to hit that subscribe button, and you'll see more and more videos and live streams from me coming up in between looking after a newborn baby, which is always good fun. So yeah, if you have enjoyed the video, leave comments, all that kind of stuff. If you want to see anything else, then let me know. But yeah, thanks very much for tuning in, and I will see you on the next either video or live stream. Until then, over and out.